We are going to do a builder gel fill on my busted, crusty nails that really need some help. What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer. And a lot of you have been asking for help with doing fills of your builder gel. I'm going to show you how today in this video, and I'm going to give you tons of tips and tricks. So make sure you stay tuned until the end. Okay, the first thing you want to do is if your builder gel gets to be a hot mess like mine is right now, and it happens sometimes to the best of us, you want to start by filing down the bulk and getting off any parts that are lifted. Now, for me, why mine got to be such a mess is I got really sick and I started picking at my nails, which like I literally never do. I think in the past like 5.5 years, I think this is only like the second or third time I've done that, but I started messing with my nails. I got some lifting from like picking at it, and now we've got to fix this up. I like to go with my safety carbide bit, and this one that I'm using in this video is from Erica's ATA. I'll make sure I leave everything linked in the description that I'm using. I'm using her smooth top barrel medium carbide bit and absolutely love it. I just did a video last week on using this bit versus a cheap bit, and they both definitely work. Like using a cheaper bit works too. This one I've just noticed already, like it's lasting so much longer. It's still staying sharp. It removes the bulk of my nail a little bit quicker. So I really wanted to get this mani done fast. So I grabbed this bit and I'm just taking down some of the bulk, and I am not touching my natural nails at all with this bit. The only bits that should touch your natural nails are really sanding bands. Everything else, or any kind of like a diamond bit. So those are the two that are safe, but carbide bits, ceramic bits, those are not safe to get on your natural nails. So you got to be careful when you're debulking some of that builder gel off. You definitely don't want to get into your natural nails with this. And I run it at about 22 to 26,000 RPMs, and I am like barely skimming the surface, just removing the bulk, since I always keep at least a little bit of the base down of the builder gel on my natural nails. Now, even when I switch to rubber base, like let's say I have builder gel on and I decide to switch, then I still leave a little bit of the builder gel down because I never fully take off product anymore. I saw this from Susie from Nail Career Education talking about how you can always leave a thin layer of your product on when you switch to a new one. And ever since I started doing that years ago, my nails just grow so much better and they're so much stronger because I don't actually fully remove any product, just all the lifting and then like debulk. So now we're going to get into like the actual nail prep. And what I like to do is I like to go around my nails, around the sidewalls and my cuticles first with these mini sanding bands. And they're a 240 grit, so they are the ones that I also use on my natural nail growth to kind of rough that up and just remove the shine from that. And I use these to get any of the dip that might be stuck around my sidewalls or on my cuticles. And then I run it over my entire nail just to kind of smooth out but still rough up the top of the builder gel that's left on there. I feel like it really helps with better adhesion. Then I go in with my favorite McCart Cuticle Bit. It just very gently removes any of the skin that's stuck on the nail plate, and I don't like push it into my skin, push it way back into my cuticle area. I'm just getting any dead skin that's stuck on my nail plate off, and I just very gently run it around my sidewalls and my cuticles. I do that on every single nail. So the steps that I'm showing for like one nail or two nails here, I do the same things on every single nail, but I'm not gonna have that whole thing in the video just because since this is a builder gel overlay video, it would take way too long just showing my prep. And then I use isopropyl alcohol to clean off my nails. So normally I used to use 91% or 99%, and it was drying the heck out of my skin. So I started using 70% isopropyl alcohol since I also use a real dehydrator. This way my skin isn't as dry when I'm doing my nails, and it has been so nice that my skin like doesn't hurt using 99% alcohol. I'm also testing out this new lamp that I got from McCart to flash cure. I was so excited. I haven't had one of these small ones in a while, and all the other ones that I've used have been like pretty junky, but I have to say I am absolutely loving this one from Macart. Everything that I'm using in my video here will be linked in the description, all of the nail tools, the products, the builder gel, everything. So once I played with my lamp a little bit, then I'm getting into the actual application. I do these steps one hand at a time, all the way through the builder gel. So I apply dehydrator to 5 nails, thumb to pinky, and then I go back in and start scrubbing in my primer. And the primer is a product that you want to use that leaves a sticky residue. It's specifically for gels. Some companies call it primer, some call it bond. The one I'm using is from OG Dip Powder. It's HEMA free. And you like rub it into your natural nails so that the gel has something to adhere to. Now, I forgot to tape doing my thumb and pointer. When I was doing this, I somehow didn't turn my video on. So we're starting with my middle finger. And what you want to do is you want to apply a slip layer first. So the slip layer is a really thin layer of the builder gel that's applied over your entire nail, and that you do not cure that. And then you take a bead of builder gel, a larger bead, and you use that, float it down your nail, and that's what gives you the actual like builder gel layer. So I continually flip my nail over as I'm doing them, because flipping your nail over allows your builder gel to self-level. Some builder gels self-level a lot easier than others. This one that I'm using, it's the pink builder gel in a jar from OG Dip Powder. All of their products, all of OG's products are HEMA free. So I love using them because I know I'm, only using HEMA free products. If you follow my videos, I had a reaction to HEMA like 3 years ago and stopped using it after that. So the way you want to apply your bead of builder gel is you want it to be back towards the back of your cuticles, the back of your nail, but not at the cuticle. And then you push it a little bit towards the cuticles and float it down your nail in like a side to side swooping motion. And something that I was struggling with on this one, because my nails haven't been short for very long and I kept forgetting, is that you don't want to pull the builder gel like the entire way to the tip as you're floating. You want to stay more towards the center and use a thin nail art brush to pull a little bit of the builder gel down to the tip and along the sides. So I had to do some finagling with my thin nail art brush to get it back to like the correct apex area. And since my nails are really short, I don't need to build a large apex, which is great because it's just less time. So doing my nails with builder gel when they're this short takes so much less time than doing them when they're longer, since I don't have to worry about like really, like, I focus on the apex just to make sure there's at least a little one. But since they're really short, I don't have to worry about like doing a major apex. Now, one thing that you definitely want to do in between each nail is you want to flash cure it for like 5 to 10 seconds before moving to the next one. That's going to seal your builder gel in place and make sure that it doesn't move till you work to the next nail, and then you can do a full cure after you're done with all 5 nails. So I always like to cure my thumb separately and then my pointer through pinky together. We tend to hold our thumbs at like a really weird wonky angle in the lamp, and what you definitely don't want to happen is you don't want your thumb to be partially cured because you had it at this weird angle. It happened to me once years ago. This was before I cured my thumb separately, and I had my thumb in and I went to like wipe off the tacky layer, and a bunch more builder gel like came off with it, and then I like didn't really even realize it. So when I went to file them smooth, a bunch of builder gel came off and I had to e-file it off and like start over. And so you definitely do not want to do that when you're doing any gels. Like I said, I did that flash cure for 5 to 10 seconds and then do the full cure at the end, thumb separate and then pointer through pinky together. Once my nails are fully cured, I like to let them cool off for at least like 30 seconds before I go in and spray them with isopropyl alcohol and wipe them off with paper towel. This is so that the tacky layer isn't stuck on there and I don't accidentally touch that tackiness that's left while I'm doing my other hand. Then you can go and you can do the same steps that you did on your first hand with your second. So do the dehydrator, thumb to pinky, and then go in with the primer and scrub it into my nails. And I'm showing you what it looks like on my right hand. I am right-handed, so I'm definitely a little bit clumsier with my left hand doing my nails, especially still builder gel. I feel like I dip decently with my left hand on my right, but builder gel is still a little awkward for me. I think it's because I only do it once every couple weeks versus like dipping once or twice a week. So scrubbing it in means that you're basically rubbing the brush onto your nail and like etching the surface, just scrubbing that primer in so it adheres. And you can see I did 2 layers with it. That helps with better adhesion. A lot of brands of primers slash bond, whichever one you're using that leaves that sticky residue, a lot of them say to do 2 layers. Before I used OG's HEMA-free primer, I was using Young Nails Protein Bond, and that leaves a sticky residue. And that one, I did do 2 layers of that as well, but it has HEMA, so I had to stop using it. This one, I actually remembered to film my thumb, so I'm showing you how I have to hold my thumb. I'm using this builder gel station from SJ3 Designs, and I have to kind of set my hand on it so that my thumb doesn't move around. And then I do the slip layer, and I have to take a bigger bead of builder gel because my thumb is bigger. So the amount of builder gel you need for your bead is going to vary by person, and it's going to vary for each of your nails, right? Like my thumbs are huge. When I use full cover tips, I need a 000 from a Prey because they're so big. So when I'm doing that bead of builder gel, I need a much bigger bead compared to any of my other fingers. You still want to do your slip layer, which is the uncured layer, and keep that really thin so that then when you put your bead of builder gel down, it glides right down, right? It slips right down. Is it, some people call it different things. I feel like I heard it called something else lately, not a slip layer, but I can't remember what it was called, something. And I was like, you mean the slip layer? But they didn't call it that. Using a little thin nail art brush, it's a detail brush, and you can get really close to your cuticles with it. You can get close to your sidewalls, and this keeps me from flooding the builder gel into my skin. If I get anything on my skin, I immediately go in with some kind of little nail art brush, and I wipe off any gel that's on my skin with isopropyl alcohol before I go and flash cure. You do not want to cure any builder gel or any gels on your skin. This is what leads to gel allergies, and we definitely do not want those. So the more that your skin's exposed to uncured gel on it, whether it's on your skin from flooding it or whether you're not fully curing your gels with your lamp, if you're accidentally using a flash cure lamp instead of a full cure, or you're using a crappy full curing lamp. These are things that lead to gel allergies. And I was just watching information from the Nail Hub, Liz from the Nail Hub. She was explaining like exactly how those allergies develop and how they basically like get into your skin. And you definitely do not want that, right? Like we want to be able to use our beautiful gels. So be really careful and make sure that you don't leave any uncured gel on your skin when you go to cure it, or really leave it on at all. And since my nails are short, I was having a little bit of problems getting some on the tips of my nails. So I really made sure that I wiped it off with alcohol before I would do the flash cure. If any of you have been watching some of my videos, you know that I pinched a nerve. It's been like a month and a half now. It was at Christmas, and my hands are still shaky from doing that. So I feel like I'm still getting used to doing my nails again, and have to kind of like finagle how I do it and hold my hands a little weird, or it just takes me a little bit longer until I like get my normal feeling back into my hands. So once you're done with the builder gel on your other hand, then do your full cure. I still do my thumb separately and then my pointer through pinky. And then after I wait about 30 seconds, I clean that hand with isopropyl alcohol. And then I go in and I do my buffing. Now, if you're going right in with gels or with gel top, you don't have to do this step. Some people just leave their builder gel on and that's all they wear, but I like to file and buff my builder gel super, super smooth because I use peel base in between my builder gel and my dip mayonnaise. So what I start off with is using these big flexible files, and I buff it as smooth as I possibly can first. Then go around with a hand file and fix up my shaping, make sure it's exactly how I want it to look. And then I'll go back in with the flexible file and buff on the sides so that the sides are really smoothed down towards my sidewalls. I don't like when the sides have those weird ridges on them, so I do the double buffing basically. Go in, buff it smooth, start my buffing, do my filing and shape up my nails, make sure that the side shape is nice, and then go back in with my flexible file to really make sure that the nails along the sides flow nicely down towards my sidewalls. And if you don't like to use these big files, you can use a small buffing block, you can use a medium-sized one. Anything that buffs it really smooth is going to be great for you to use. I definitely noticed that when my nails are short like this, I have to do more filing to like really make sure my shape looks good as compared to when my nails are longer and in an almond shape. I feel like it's more forgiving to have an almond shape versus when they're short and square. I tend to like be a little bit more picky than when my nails are long almonds. Once I'm totally done, I go in and clean all my nails with isopropyl alcohol so that they are ready to go when I want to add peel base, and then dip over top of them. Make sure you click on this next video and I will teach you all the tips and tricks of how to dip directly over builder gel and get it to last weeks. Thanks for joining me today, nail crew.